Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 66. Vikshodya Vayasam Tamcha
Vikshudavyasam tamcha
Prakriti Namcha Samatamam
prakritinam cha samattam
Anurakta Prajam Raja
anurakta prajam raja
Dhruvam Chakre Bhuva Patim.
dhruvam chakram patem.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When after concentration, King Uttanapad saw that Dhruv Maharaj was suitably mature to take charge of the kingdom and that his ministers were agreeable and the citizens were also very fond of him, he enthroned Dhruva as emperor of this planet. Although it is misconceived that formerly the monarchical government was autocratic, from the description of this verse, it appears that not only was King Uttanapad a Rajrishi, but before installing his beloved son Dhruva on the throne of the empire of the world, he consulted his ministerial officers, considered the opinion of the public, and also personally examined Dhruva's character. Then the king installed him on the throne to take charge of the affairs of the world. So the Rajrishis would not act they wouldn't act whimsically, but always on the advice of the saintly people. They wanted to see who will be able to best take care of the citizens. That was their prime concern. Not that, oh, because he's my son, he should be the king, as we were seeing in Dhritarashtra's case. He wanted Duryodhan to be the king because Duryodhan was the son, without understanding what was actually right for the citizens. When a Vaishnav king like Dhruv Maharaj is the head of the government of the entire world, the world is so happy that it is not possible to imagine or describe. Even now, if people would all become Krishna conscious, the democratic government of the present day would be exactly like the kingdom of heaven. If all people became Krishna conscious, they would vote for persons of the category of Dhruv Maharaj. So, if like we can see the example also we read earlier, Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he was the emperor, the earth was so happy. All the citizens were happy. The earth was happy also that she was providing so much grains, minerals, riches, jewels. The cows were happy, they were giving abundant milk. The trees were happy, giving enough fruits. Everyone was happy. That's what happens when a devotee is ruling because he knows how to properly take care. The pure devotee. He knew how to properly take care of everyone. So Prabhupada is pointing out, okay, now it's democracy, but yet if every one of us becomes Krishna conscious, then we could really have a peaceful society here and a happy society. If the post of chief executive were occupied by such a Vaishnava, all the problems of satanic government would be solved. The youthful generation of the present day is very enthusiastic in trying to overthrow the government in different parts of the world. But unless people are Krishna conscious like Dhruv Maharaj, there will be no appreciable changes in government because people who hanker to attain political position by hook or by crook cannot think of the welfare of the people. So it also depends on who is the person who's in power. What is the, yeah, is he able to lead? Is he able to take care of the people, take care of the welfare of the people? They are only busy to keep their position of prestige and monetary gain. They have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens. Atmanam cha pravayasam
Manam cha pravashyasham
akalaya vishampatihe.
akalaya vishampatihi.
Vanam Virakta Pratishtha
Vanam Virakta Pratishtad
Vimrishan Atmanogatam.
Vimrishan Atmanogatim.
After considering his advanced age and deliberating on the welfare of his spiritual self, King Uttanapad detached himself from worldly affairs and entered the forest. This is the sign of a Rajarishi. King Uttanapad was very opulent and was emperor of the world. And these attachments were certainly very great. We were just hearing how his palace was so opulent and the whole city was so opulent. And he's the emperor of the world. So imagine how much control, how much power he has. Yet he's giving it all up. Modern politicians are not as great as kings like Mahārāja Uttanapad. But because they get some political power for some days, they become so much attached to the positions that they never retire unless they're removed from their posts by cruel death or killed by some opposing political party. The desire for power is very great in us, each of us, even the leaders, of course, also, but we also, when we get certain power, how willing are we to give up that power? We get so attached to having that control, that power. It is within our experience that politicians in India do not quit their positions until death. This was not the practice in olden days, as it is evident from the behavior of King Uttanapad. Immediately after installing his worthy son Dhruva Maharaj on the throne, he left his home and palace. So he's giving up everything, everything, of not only the opulences, but also like his family. He's saying, I'm going alone to the forest for self-realization. There are hundreds and thousands of instances like this in which kings, in their mature age, would give up their kingdoms and go to the forest to practice austerity. Practice of austerity is the main business of human life. As Maharaj Dhruv practiced austerity in his early age, his father, Maharaj Uttanapad, in his old age, also practiced austerity in the forest. In modern days, however, it is not possible to give up one's home and go to the forest to practice austerity. But if people of all ages would take shelter of the Krishna consciousness movement and practice the simple austerities of no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, and no meat eating, and chant the Hare Krishna mantra regularly, 16 rounds, by this practical method, it would be a very easy task to get salvation from this material world. So, of course, in Kali Yuga, we are not equipped to go to the forest, and neither are we required to go to the forest. We can simply remain wherever we are. We follow the four regulative principles and we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And this is how we can, as Prabhupada is saying, easily get liberation from this material world, salvation from this material world. Uh, yeah, we won't be able to go to the forest, in Kali Yuga. There's certain things which we are already used to. But just stay where we are and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, hearing and chanting regularly. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the fourth canto, ninth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Dhruva Maharaj Returns Home. Chapter 10, Dhruva Maharaj's fight with the Yakshas. Maitreya Vachan
Maitreya Uvacha
Prajapate Duhitaram
Prajapati Duritaram
Ishumarasya Vaidhruva
Tishumarasya Vedhruva
Upayeme Brahmim Nama
Upayeme Brahmim Nama
Tatsutau Kalpavatsarau.
Tatsuto Kalpataram.
The great sage Maitreya said, My dear Vidur, thereafter Dhruva Maharaj married the daughter of Prajapati Shishumar, whose name was Brahmi, and two sons named Kalpa and Vatsar were born of her. It appears that Dhruva Maharaj married after being installed on the throne of his father and after the departure of his father to the forest for self-realization. So it is very important to note in this connection that since Maharaj Uttanpad was greatly affectionate towards his son, and since it is the duty of a father to get his sons and daughters married as quickly as possible, why did he not get his son married before he left home? The answer is that Maharaj Uttanapad was a Raj Rishi saintly king. Although he was busy in his political affairs and duties of government management, he was very anxious for self-realization. Therefore, as soon as his son Dhruv Maharaj was quite worthy to take charge of the government, he took this opportunity to leave home, just like his son, who without fear left home for self-realization even at the age of 5 years. So Prabhupada is pointing out that usually the parents would always want to get their children married before they retire. But here, King Uttanapad, before he's gotten Dhruva married, and as soon as he's saying, oh, Dhruva is capable of taking care of the kingdom, he went to the forest for self-realization. He's not going, this is like retirement, right? But he's not retiring to um, travel the world or create a hobby, but what is he's retiring for self-realization. So these are rare instances from which we can see that the importance of spiritual realization is above all other important work. Maharaj Uttanapad knew very well that to get his son Dhruv Maharaj married was not so important that it should take preference to his going away to the forest for self-realization. So we may say that, oh, I'm going to take up a process of chanting after my duties are finished. But we can we can begin chanting right away. We don't have to wait till we finish all of the material duties. Lord Chaitanya says, be wherever you are, just chant Hare Krishna mantra. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, do whatever you are doing, and do it for me. Then how will we remember Krishna? By chanting Hare Krishna. So we continue doing our duties. We just add Krishna to our lives. We don't need to give up anything. We just simply add Krishna. Ilayam api bharyayam
Ayam api bharyayam
vayo putrya mahabalaha
ayo putryam mahabalaha
putram utkala namanam
tram utkala namanam
yoshid ratnam ajijanat.
yushid ratnam ajijjanat.
The greatly powerful Dhruv Maharaj had another wife, namely Ela, who was the daughter of the demigod Vayu. By her, he begot a son named Utkala and a very beautiful daughter. So he had this another wife called Ela. Ela she's the daughter of the wind god Vayu, controller of air. And they had a son and a daughter. Uttamascha akritodvaho
उत्तमः तु अकृत उदाह
mrigayayam baliyasa
मृगयां बलीयसा
ata punya jane nadro
अतः पुण्यजनेनाद्रो
tan matasya gatim gata.
तन्माता अस्य गतिं गता.
Dhruva Maharaj's younger brother Uttam who was still unmarried, once went on a hunting excursion and was killed by a powerful Yaksha in the Himalaya mountains. Along with him, his mother Suruchi also followed the path of her son. She died. So he had gone to the forest. Uttam. He was not yet married. He went hunting into the forest. The kings used to do that. They used to go hunting to practice their hunting skills. That's how they'll be able to protect the citizens. And then he gets killed by a yaksha. And Suruchi became so, because of her deep attachment to Uttam, she also went into the forest and she died. Dhruva bhratir vadam shrutva.
Dhruva bhratam vadam shrutva.
Vamersha shucharpitaha.
Kopa amarta sucha apitaha.
Jaitram syandanam asthaya.
Etam syandanam asthaya.
Gata punya janalayam.
Punya alyanam.
When Dhruva Maharaj heard of the killing of his brother Uttama by the Yakshas in the Himalaya mountains, being overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, he got on his chariot and went out for victory over the city of the Yakshas, Alkapuri. So Alkapuri is where they are staying, the Yakshas, and Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj is becoming angry, overwhelmed with grief, and envious of the enemies, was not incompatible with his position as a great devotee. It is a misunderstanding that a devotee should not be angry, envious, or overwhelmed by lamentation. Dhruva Maharaj was the king, and when his brother was unceremoniously killed, it was his duty to take revenge against the Yakshas from the Himalayas. So someone may say that Dhruva Maharaj is a pure devotee of the Lord. He's already self-realized. Now, when we are saying self-realized means no sochati, na kankshati, sama sarveshu bhuteshu. That you're seeing everyone equal, you're not hankering, you're not lamenting, then why is Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry? Why is he lamenting? Why is he killing the enemies? So Prabhupada is helping us understand it's not that a pure devotee does not do his duty. Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita was telling Arjuna, hey, you get up and fight. It's your duty to fight. So the pure devotee acts as a matter of duty without being attached to this the emotion. Arjuna also, after his son died, he lamented. After Abhimanyu died, he lamented. But the next morning, he was again fighting. Because we are each of us is an individual. We are persons, so we do have these feelings. You can't negate those feelings. So the feelings are there, but the pure devotee, he continues with his duties in Krishna consciousness. And here Dhruva Maharaj, he is going to fight with the Yakshas because, many people would go to the forest that day, at that time. As we heard, Maharaj Uttanapad also went to the forest. So it's Dhruva's duty to make sure that people who go to the forest and they don't get killed by the Yakshas. So that's another reason. Recently, Guru Maharaj was speaking about this, so I heard that in this class. Gatvo dichim disham raja.
Indisham Raja.
Rudra anuchara sevitam.
Rudra anuchara sevitam.
Tadarsha himavadronyam.
Dadarta himavadronayam.
Purim goyaka sankulam.
Purim goyaka sankulam.
Dhruva Maharaj went to the northern direction of the Himalayan range. In a valley, he saw a city full of ghostly persons who were followers of Lord Shiva. In this verse, it is stated that the Yakshas are more or less devotees of Lord Shiva. By this indication, the Yakshas may be taken to be the Himalayan tribes, like the Tibetans. Anyway, it's in the Himalayas. Dadmau Shankam Brahadbahu.
Dadmo shankam brahat bahu.
Kam Dishas Chanunadayan.
Kam disha cha anunadayan.
Yenodvigna Drishashatar.
Yena udvigno dashashrata.
Upadevyo Trishan Brisham.
Upadevyo trisan brisham.
Maitreya continued, my dear Vidur, as soon as Dhruva Maharaj reached Alkapuri, he immediately blew his conch shell and the sound reverberated throughout the entire sky and in every direction. The wives of the Yakshas became very much frightened. From their eyes, it was apparent that they were full of anxiety. So he's a pure devotee. He's not afraid to do his duty as a king. He's doing his duty also. He's not saying, okay, I'm a pure devotee, I'm just gonna do nothing. No. He's been installed on the throne to take care of the citizens, and that's what he's doing properly. As Yudhishthir and Arjun, they're all pure devotees, and they set by example that we do our duty for the pleasure of Krishna. It doesn't mean that one becomes inactive after they become a devotee. Not that they give up all activity, but the activity is done for the pleasure of Krishna as a matter of duty. Tato nishkramya balina
Tato nishkramaya balina
upadeva mahabhataha
upadeva mahabhata
asahantastan
Ninadam
abhipetur uddayudaha.
abhipetu udhaya.
O hero Vidur, the greatly powerful heroes of the Yakshas, unable to tolerate the resounding vibration of the conch shell of Dhruva Maharaj, came forth from the city with weapons and attacked Dhruva. So his conch shell vibrating was so powerful that they were not able to tolerate it. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the conch shell sounding is mentioned before the battle begins, how Duryodhana sounds his conch shell, Bhishma sounds his conch shell, and then when Krishna sounds his conch shell, everyone's, their heart gets shattered. Krishna, Arjun, Bhim, they sound their conch shells. And the enemies, their heart is shattered already. Satan apat tato vira
Ratan apatah veera
ugra dhanva maharathaha
ugrat
Dhanva Maharata
ekekam yugapat sarvan
ekekam
Ekam Yugapat Sarvahan
ahan banes tribhis tribhihi.
ahan bane stribihi.
Dhruva Maharaj, who was a great charioteer and certainly a great bowman, also immediately began to kill them by simultaneously discharging arrows, 3 at a time. So, they were lalata lagnester,
Teve lalat lagneste
ishubi sarva evahi,
ishu
Isharva Evabhi
matva nirastam atmanam,
matva
Matvam Atmanam
ashamsan karma tasya tat.
ashamsan
Yaman
karma
Karma
yatat.
Tasyata.
When the heroes of the Yakshas saw that all their heads were thus being threatened by Dhruva Maharaj, they could very easily understand their awkward position, and they concluded that they would certainly be defeated. But as heroes, they lauded the action of Dhruva. This spirit of fighting and a sporting attitude is very significant in this verse. The Yakshas were severely attacked. Dhruva Maharaj was their enemy, but still, upon witnessing the wonderful, heroic acts of Maharaj Dhruva, they were very pleased with him. This straightforward appreciation of an enemy's prowess is a characteristic of real Kshatriya spirit. So they are appreciating that Dhruva Maharaj is such an expert fighter. This is the Kshatriya spirit. They're not envious of him that he is so powerful. They're in fact appreciating his power. We may get envious. Someone is better than me. Oh, how is he or she better than me at this thing? I'm so good at it. How can this one be better? But here, the Yakshas are appreciating Dhruva Maharaj's fighting skill. Anyone wanted to add or comment anything?
So he's the grandson of Brahma, right? Dhruva Maharaj, he's not, he's a Kshatriya,
He's a great grandson.
great grandson, and he's a Kshatriya.
Yes, he's a Kshatriya because he's a king.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.